Joining us now to talk more about the march and its impact is Jarret Stepman, editor for the Daily Signal. Jarret, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me on.
You were there at the march, and you also wrote an article highlighting 7 takeaways. Just give me a brief summary of what your impressions were.
Absolutely. I think this was, in many ways, a very partisan march. I think some of the narratives, the national narratives, that this is kind of an all-encompassing march, that, we're fighting against school violence. But what I saw there was a lot of left-wing groups that had gathered, such as Planned Parenthood, which I think has partially organized the event, which was very, very well organized. They had signs that essentially said, no more thoughts, no more prayers, only action. So I think you saw a lot of partisan takes from the part of the people in the crowd and the audience. People going after, say, Republicans, definitely a lot against President Donald Trump, saying to impeach. So the idea that this is a nonpartisan gathering, I think, wasn't quite true, and maybe a lot of people who came there thought it was, but certainly the tenor of this was that there was a lot of left-wing groups that had gathered for various causes, all there for gun control.
I know that was concerning for so many pro-life Americans who showed up there and didn't realize what it was going to be like. You had mentioned some of the signs that you saw. I want to highlight one of them because you took a picture of the sign saying, "Stop making laws to control my body, make laws to control your guns." So tell me a little bit more about the link between the gun control movement and the pro-abortion movement.
Yeah, there was an interesting level of people there who basically were attacking pro-life people for not being also for gun rights, essentially. So there were a lot of people that had attacks on pro-life individuals, saying that, well, your views are incompatible. So I think the message there was, again, there were a lot of signs there for Planned Parenthood and other groups like this that are generally very much against the pro-life message, and those with traditional values and things like that was very prevalent.
You say that the march was well organized and well funded. What do we know about those who did fund and were behind it?
There were a huge number of celebrities, for instance, Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, MoveOn.org, which is funded by a liberal billionaire, George Soros, was a part of this. It was very clear from being there that this is a highly organized and well-funded event. I think some of the narratives is that this is a children's organized campaign, but really there were a lot of adults involved. A lot of money was involved in the organization. It was not something that could have been created by merely a group of children.
Of the specific measures protesters are asking for, and they're asking for a whole lot of different things, what realistically do you think can be accomplished?
Well, honestly, I don't think a lot is going to be moved as far as gun control, which is, of course, the tenor of these things. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion about issues relating to mental health and school discipline, which are other issues that are involved when we talk about shootings on campuses. I think that is something that was very much missing from this debate. It was almost entirely focused on gun control as an issue, which is, of course, an issue that has very strong battle lines in this country. This debate has been going on for a very long time. So I think they want to move the ball. I think they want to make groups like the NRA, the National Rifle Association, seem like extremists that are out on the fringe. But those represent a large part of Americans who, I think when they see signs that say we should end the Second Amendment there, a lot of these groups are going to dig in their heels and say, we're not going to budge from our point of view and move over to yours.
And of course, Congress has gone now on a 2-week recess for Easter, so not immediate response out of a lot of representatives, but we'll continue to see what their reaction is, especially as they come back, and if there's any policy changes at all on that. Jarret Stepman, editor for the Daily Signal, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.